Am I wearing lanyards?
No, take it off. That happened. Hi, everybody. It's Michael Buckley, and this is my very good friend, Shay. You might know him. You must know him. If you're on the YouTube, you know who he is. We've never made a proper video together. I've appeared in your vlog in passing at a party
or
something. The origins of our friendship go very far back. We met...
Lisa Nova has to be involved
Lisa Nova has to be involved. We met, actually, at the first time was in L.A. The first time I ever went to L.A., and they had put us up in that fancy place because we were filming that.
HBO.
Yeah,
HBO Labs.
Yes, and it was you. And
no, the first time I met you was at a restaurant. I was a Phil, and you were getting a table for everybody at a restaurant, and I showed up, and I remember how tan you were.
I was so addicted to tan.
You were super tan. I was like, whoa, he's tan.
It's probably November in Connecticut. I was just, oh my God.
I think Dax Flame was there.
Oh man,
what a night.
Different time. He wrote a book. He sent it to me like a year or so ago.
He did.
But so we've known each other a very long time, and on this channel I've been talking about my struggles and my obstacles and how I'm overcoming them. And so I just, I'm enjoying talking to people because this is really, I enjoy this way more than making Miley Cyrus jokes. I know, but yeah. So what in your life? You're a little older than some of the YouTube creators, and you're 30-something, whatever years. What have been your challenges, and how have you overcome them?
Well, recently I just came out with a podcast on our When the Kids Go to Sleep podcast that me and my wife do, where I talk openly about alcoholism. About how I really, for about 5 years, really, I think, and it's funny because I read the comments of the podcast and people were almost like questioning like how much I drank. Like, I bet you only had a few drinks, a couple times a week. But I'm like, if I had some of my YouTube friends tell the stories of my drinking days, that was a hard time, But it's funny that it was hard because it also, and I was thinking about this the other day, I almost feel like may have lent to some of my YouTube success. In the sense where it was like, if you're doing a daily vlog and you're known as like the loud, crazy guy, it's a lot easier to do that when you're drunk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
turn on the camera.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so a little booze goes a long ways to help you kind of loosen up and be me. And I'm generally like that, like you are, where we're loud and we're in your face, and you don't have to be drunk to, lower your, inhibitions.
Right.
But it was something that was just like so fun for me, it's like. The reason I liked it, honestly, is because it brought everybody else's inhibitions down.
Right.
Like, I found that when I was drinking with people, they would open up, and we would talk about stuff that really mattered, instead of, like, the small talk of, like, da-da-da-da-da. But when you're drunk with somebody, and you're just, like, telling them all that stuff, you might say
you mean so much to me, and you cry.
Some of that's ridiculous, but some of that you get out where you're, like, maybe have been afraid to let some of that out before.
Right.
So I liked that, know? So that was hard where... I'm like, if one is good, then all is the best.
Right.
And when it comes to beers, that's not a good policy to have.
Yeah.
I have a hard time with moderation.
Yeah.
It's like if I do something, it's like all the way.
Right.
So
I'm the same. I feel I always drink more and faster than everybody. So I just I'd see people have one drink I'm like, how are they doing that? Like I'm on my 4.
I know.
I drink everything fast. So I drink water, soda, anything. I'm always just guzzling. So if it's alcohol, it's fast and lots. So I get it.
Yeah, because I was always like, people are like, oh, I like the taste of it. I'm like, well, crap. It's acquired taste. Like I get it. Like a cold beer on a hot day, whatever can be good. But
I like vodka. Yeah, I know.
But how many times do you drink alcohol and you're like this?
Yeah.
Like that's poison.
Right.
When your body goes like this, that means it's poison.
So for 5 years drinking too much, and what switched in your brain?
Well, I had been trying to quit for a long time, and that's why I was so big. Remember big fat Shay Carl? People are like, I miss the big Shay Carl. What they're really saying is I miss the drunk Shay Carl, because of that, because I consumed so much, I ballooned up. And then
that's beer, that's empty calories.
And then it's like, what do you do at 2 a.m. when you're done drinking? You eat burritos and cheeseburgers, or you go with everybody to the drive-thru. So I was getting fat, huge. I was almost 300 pounds, feeling unhealthy. You know what it's like to drink and wake up the next day and feel so dehydrated. How many times have you said, I'm never drinking again, right? Because you feel like crap, you did
not enough, clearly, because
right? It keeps happening. But I did that forever. Like I tried to quit for a long time, really tried to quit, and just
How did you quit?
I had to quit cold turkey. I say this in a podcast. I did a Tim Ferriss podcast, and I talk about this. But I love him. You like Tim? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's amazing. I was in Cassim G's pool one day 4.5 years ago at like 11 a.m. Mm-hmm. I remember going over to his house. Me and my brother went over there, and he had like this bottle of whiskey, and we're like, hey, let's have some of this Jack Daniels, and we'll mix Coke with it. Ha! Yeah. And I remember that day, Cassim like giving me crap, like, dude, it's not even noon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, when I first moved to LA, it was like, here's this Mormon boy going to Los Angeles, and it wasn't, what religion are you? It was like, oh, you believe in God? Like, how cute, Shay.
Right,
do you believe in Santa too? And I was like, whoa. People don't even believe in God here.
Right.
Like, so it was a big culture shock to move to Venice, make all these friends that we started Maker Studios. Obviously, everybody was partying. And to have one of those friends, like one of my friends who didn't believe in God and all that stuff, to be giving me crap about drinking early on in the day, it was like, what am I doing? It's 11 a.m. and I'm like pouring Jack and Cokes.
Right.
And I remember swimming in the pool, like, you know, I'm like, brush Cassim off, whatever he said, you know, I'm like, I don't care, what up, shut up.
Yeah.
You know, and then I'm swimming, because I'm trying to stay, you ever been an alcoholic and try to lose weight? It's real tough. Have you ever Googled, what's the fewest amount of calories I can get drunk on? Who's Googled that? You have a problem, okay? Because I Googled that. So it's like, I'm trying to drink as, you know, like little calories as possible.
I Google, do I drink too much? If I'm Googling this, I have a problem.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm trying to exercise as I'm drinking. So I'm in the pool swimming, and in my mind, I'm like, I'll get drunk and I'll swim and I'll lose some calories. And I was kind of like having a conversation with myself. And like I said, I'd been trying to stop for the longest time. And it's like, you know how you negotiate with yourself, right? It's like the classic diet line. The diet starts tomorrow. It's always tomorrow, because right now you want to enjoy the thing that you like.
I'll just have 2 drinks. I can handle it.
Right. Or I'll stop for a week or whatever. And I had done that and said that so many times that I really had this crazy realization that like hit me. And we were talking right before the cameras start. I believe in God. I hope and pray that there's an eternal being, mother, father in heaven, girl, boy, I don't care, just an eternal person that is rooting for us and hoping for us, even if it's our deceased family members on the other side of the veil rooting for us. I believe in something out there that can talk to us and that loves us. And so I do that often, where I'm talking and praying kind of, and you're like negotiating with God maybe almost. And I was swimming, and I had this huge realization, because I was doing the same thing, like, okay, I'm going on this hunt with my brothers, and that's when I'm gonna quit, because we're gonna be in the mountains, I'll be away from restaurants and all that stuff, and it'll be easy to quit drinking then. And God or some voice or something snapped inside of me and said, if you do not stop right now, this second, meaning if you do not get out of this pool as a non-drinker, you will never stop drinking.
Wow.
And it was like so real and such a devil's advocate moment where I was like, holy shit, that is right. I can't quit. Like, if you're gonna quit, you have to say right now, I'm done. I'm fed up. And I did. I said, I was like, it was such a realization that I had that I was like, I have got to quit right now. And it was like, I was swimming and I was like, how am I gonna quit? Because I remember, as somebody who drank a lot, I remember thinking, what am I gonna do to have fun? Right? Like, how
so much of my daily is wrapped up in let's get drinks, let's watch TV and have drinks, let's do this. Yes.
And that was it. I got out of the pool, and Cassim was there, my brother, Cecily, some friends, you know, and I said, I quit drinking. And they all look at me like, what? They're like, do you want another? You know, and I'm like, I quit drinking. And from that moment, hand to God, I have not had a sip of alcohol. This October will be 5 years.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So I said
it's funny how I noticed at the last couple events you would have a bottle of water in your hand or whatever, and I never even thought to ask, oh, are you not drinking? Because it's not, you know.
Right,
you know.
And, you know.
5 years,
these early ones.
But what were your tools? How did you quit? Just because you wanted to?
Exercise. No, you have to replace it. Like anything like alcoholism or any addiction, any big thing that's a part of your life that you take out, if you don't put something in its place, that hole will fill back up. Well, so I had, like, I remember the day one, like the next day, day one of quitting alcohol, right? 2 p.m., 3 p.m. rolls around. Because it was usually, for me, it was like, The vlog's edited. I'm uploading the vlog. Daddy's off work.
Yeah.
It's time to have a drink, right? So around 3, 4 in the afternoon, I start drinking. And so that next day, I remember like 2:30, I started to panic. Like, what do I do? Like, I was pacing around the house. I'm like, I have got to leave. I got to do something. And I remember that first day I went rock climbing. I went and found like a rock climbing gym, and I just went there and I said, I want to sign up. I want to come here twice a week, just anything that I could do other than alcohol. So if you don't replace it with something, whether it's exercise or God or, you know, chess, anything that you can do other than
not
that addiction,
smoking or drugs or something else.
Crack,
no
meth,
crack,
whatever.
No meth,
you've got to
replace. I like this. So, I mean, since it's been almost 5 years, like, what have been the potted list off the changes? Like, this is better, this is better, this is, where do you begin? This is better, this is better, this is better.
The weight, first of all, like, you know, I was so big because I drank so much, and just like holding my breath to tie my shoes. If you're fat, you know what I mean? Like, like to bend down to tie your shoes was hard for me. You know, like feeling winded going up the stairs.
Sweaty for no reason. You're just always a little
remember,
sweaty.
I was always sweaty. My standard policy was to steal a wash rag out of the hotel bathroom to fold up and put in your pocket, because, you know, those come in handy when you're a fat, sweaty guy.
Yeah, Whitney Houston up there.
That was quite moist.
So what else? What else in the last 5 years?
That's a horrible thing to say.
I'll cut this part. I'm not cutting this part. I'm calling this video Getting Moist.
I was fat and moist.
Fat and moist.
Everybody hates that word.
I know. What else?
Okay, so...
Do you really want me to cut that?
No.
I was like, I'm not cutting that. I bet you were taking a beat and like, okay, in 3, 2, 1.
We're coming back.
I'm not moist.
I don't care. One take, baby.
No, I know. Like, so what else? What about your relationships with other people and things?
I mean, that's the other thing too, is that I hid it from my wife, the drinking, not for the entire time, but for the first year, because of our culture as a Mormon, as somebody, you know, we have a code of health in our religion that says you're not supposed to drink, you're not supposed to smoke. And growing up, those always seemed like the unbreakable rules for whatever. It's like, oh, I heard so-and-so smoked or so-and-so drank, and it was like so bad and, you know, scandalous, that I was afraid. I was afraid that my wife would leave me if she found out that I was drinking.
You broke that big rule.
You know, and it was like, you know, she married me under these, you know, like I was this guy, this Mormon guy, I'm going to take her to church, I'm not going to drink, all that stuff. And then all of a sudden I was misrepresenting, you know, who she thought she married. And so I was afraid to tell her that. I was afraid to share this weakness that I had. And so for a year I hid it from her. I would eat sunflower seeds, like little things like that, just to try to cover up my breath. And I remember the night that I told her, it was like the worst and best night, because it was like I just poured out all this thing that I'd been hiding from her. But then, you know, she was definitely supportive and loving and did not leave me.
Kept making babies.
Babies. We just kept chugging them out. And our relationship has never been better, you know? So like, you know, especially with the person that, you know, I count as like my best friend or my eternal companion, that is, you know, the worst part about alcoholism is how people hide it from me. You know, because I was a functioning... I would drink 5-6 days a week. You know, and if I went 2 days without drinking, I remember it feeling like forever. Like, when's the last time I drank? Oh, it was like Monday, and maybe it was like Wednesday, and I'd be like, it's been forever since I drank, you know? But it'd only been 2 days, so...
And when you told her you weren't going to drink anymore, what did she say?
I don't think she believed me.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. For the first 6 months, it was like... Here we go again. You know, because I had tried many times, gone like 3, 4, 5 days, and then you know, slipped back into it. So I think at first it was like cool, but well, we'll see.
It's crazy. You were swimming in that pool.
It was
quitting now,
dude. I just swam in that pool 3 days ago, and Cassim is like moving out of that house, and I'm like, I got to keep this pool. I was baptized in this pool.
Reborn.
I peed in it too.
Did you? I love peeing in a pool. I peed in the pool. I was a drunk. Well, I love you, and I'm so pleased to know you, and I've always been so inspired and impressed. And you are a lovely, lovely, loving person, and you know the person you are on camera, which is loving to your family and loving. You are that way with everybody. Whether I've seen you interact with strangers and loved ones and friends you see once or twice a year, and your heart is just so lovely, and all your whole family. I know your family, and I think so highly of all of you.
Do you like Carly or me more, Mike?
I like. He
likes Carly more.
I know she's just beautiful.
She is
in love. They're in love.
Very happy.
Very happy. Yes, happy.
I was on the Decade on YouTube panel with Hank and Phil, and I was saying that you should have been on it, and Smosh and like Mr. Guitar Man. But the coolest part of this whole journey is just being counted as a colleague with like guys like you and like just the community of people that kind of like struggled and been hustling at this for 10 years.
Yeah.
It's like
we'll always have each other's backs. It's like we're the kids, we're the same class of college. It's like we're the same peers, and every year we see a new group of peers, and like we're not the people who are this, they came of age in 2012. It's a different group than the kids who are coming up now. So it's like we're the 2007, 8, 9, 10. Like we're the people who just like, so our generation of people, it's like we always, when we see each other, it's like, well,
I know.
It's like family. It is like family.
It is. It's like, and especially because not only have we been coming to like this specific event for 7 years, but you know, the first time I met you was 8.5 years ago. And just the transition, I said at a panel today, do you remember when it was weird to have met somebody on the internet?
So weird.
And now it's like such a common thing where it was like, when did your internet friends switch from being your internet friends to like, they're just like my friends?
Right,
you know?
and then like 2010 or 11, like most of the people in my phone
all of my friends are my internet friends.
I remember like AOL instant messaging Phil and like Ryan Higa and like planning collabs and like, you know, maybe give each other an email address, but nobody exchanged phone numbers. We just here, we'll talk on AOL or we'll whatever email scripts and we'll make collabs back and forth. I mean, it was such a simple, lovely little time, but
Alan Lastufka.
Oh,
remember
I love Alan. Alan made all my banners and my YouTube channel design, and he did like my merch. Hi, Alan.
Is he gonna watch this?
Oh, of course he is. We're gonna tweet right at it. But yeah, I mean, just lovely people. Everyone was lovely, and that's why it's funny too. How when I used to stay at events, like 90% of the YouTubers are so delightful. If you meet someone who's like a clunker, it's like you're a little. Now there are so many, so there are more clunkers. Yeah. But I mean, back in the day, like everyone was just from such a good pure, because nobody was looking for necessarily fame or money or any YouTube attention.
It was just the conversation.
It was just the conversation and the connection, and we just were just so fond of each other for no reason other than, you see the collabs now that are so, let you do this, we promote, we're gonna do each other's it's adorable and fun or whatever, but it's like that's so plotted to whatever, whereas all of our interactions were just so we didn't know
what we were doing.
We didn't know what we were doing. Thumbnail.
You guys don't know what it was like. We suffered, we made it.
Yes. Well, I love you, and thank you for being here, and of course check all of his links below. You know him, you love his family, you'll be obsessed. I have family members who like don't watch me and they're like, I love Shay. Like, I know, thanks. All right.
I watch Michael Buckley all the time. Love you, buddy.
Mwah. Shop kids. Who's your favorite YouTuber? I'm your uncle. It's not Buck Hollywood. It's not new Michael Buckley. It's something named Cookie C. What? Who's your favorite YouTuber? Who?
C.
Who is this? What do you get him Christmas presents? Are you sitting here making a video with him? Who's your favorite YouTuber?